Greetings. I have a little presentation for y'all this week. A evaluation of competition prep for 2024, what I would do differently, what I will keep the same, and then plans for 2025. So no reason to explain anything at this point. Let's just get right to it. What will change? The most important part that probably most people want to hear. First of all, I will plan on reducing caffeine consumption during the prep positioning diet break. That is something that I did not do during my 2024 prep, and I wish that I would have. My caffeine consumption is really pretty high. I would say that is in the, it's probably not a gram every day, but it is probably a half a gram, maybe even 700 milligrams. And by the time that I got done with prep, the bodybuilding prep to be specific, come June of this year, early July, I probably was taking in more so a gram or maybe even over a gram of caffeine every day. And so by reducing my caffeine consumption, I will effectively have some place to go that does not result in over a gram or possibly even grams of caffeine consumption. So that's one thing that I will definitely change is reducing caffeine consumption during the prep positioning diet break. Bring that down basically as low as I can handle it. Use a lot of decaffeinated coffee because I do enjoy my coffee in the morning, especially during my morning holy hour. And so I will probably have a cup of coffee and then a cup of decaf coffee to help reduce that caffeine consumption. Secondly, I'm going to be better about logging into my spreadsheet. I'm a visual person. I like to see things because it gives me a better idea of what is happening over time. Something that I think might have happened a while ago might have only happened 3 days ago. And if I put that on my spreadsheet, I'll have a better ability to grasp what has happened over time. So let me show you an example of what that looks like. As I review my spreadsheet from when I injured my infraspinatus muscle during my powerlifting prep, had I been logging things, I would have noticed how frequently I was training my delts and my bench. And while everything seemed great here on week 11, workout 3, when I did my bench, I had a really good bench session at AIG, American Iron Gym in Reno, Nevada. And I swapped workout 4, which is a deadlift session, for a bench session. Trained bench back to back with delts. And of course, wouldn't you know it, had I seen this, I would not have swapped those because the result of swapping those sessions, I made that injury happen. More so not because of poor technique or even the weight cut. It wasn't like my weight cut was dramatic. I just did too much benching and delt work in too short a period of time. Had I been logging and I had seen that, I would not have swapped those 2 sessions. In fact, I may have even moved things such that I got a day of rest right there. So getting back to, I'm going to be better about logging into my spreadsheet. All right, so at this point, most people are just going to shut things off. I wanted to know what Brad would change, what he screwed up, so that I don't make that mistake in the future, right? So now let's go into what I would keep the same. Because really, I'm not going to change much. I'm going to stick to what worked in 2024, which was numerous things, right? First and foremost, I talked about this in kind of my review of the prep, my morning holy hour. That really made the entire prep very low stress. starting the morning, reviewing God's word, being grateful for everything, it really set my mind and my heart straight for what I needed to do each and every day. And probably even more importantly than that is that I just trusted in what Jeff did for me. I just trusted in my plans that I was executing prior to Jeff taking over. I just trusted that the competition will be what it will be. I just need to focus on preparation and showing up and competing. So that is not going to change. Also, my AM training sessions, that seemed so helpful for consistency. If I got it done first thing in the morning, my energy levels were usually higher, and I could not put it off at the end of the day when energy levels were dropping, I was hungry, and work really added up. So those AM training sessions are going to stay. I'm going to loosely track for most of prep using intuitive eating, paying attention to hunger levels going into each of my meals, knowing that I need to be a little bit hungry going into meals when I need to drop weight faster, knowing that I don't have to be quite as hungry when I don't need to drop weight. And then also my fullness levels. If I need to drop weight faster, I will be less full after each of my meals. If I need to drop weight slower, I get to be a little bit fuller. And then, of course, the thing that I will track is my body weight. Then, of course, right at the end, I will track everything 100%, weighing even my carrots and my iceberg lettuce and etc. Essentially, when Jeff takes over the reins, the last 5 or 6 weeks. I'll keep my diet breaks in place. So I had a diet break after the USAPL Masters World Cup. I will probably have a diet break after each of my powerlifting competitions in 2025. I will, again, trust in Jeff's guidance. And when he says to bring food up, I won't question it. I will just bring food up. Also, this was Jeff's call right here, dropping frequency in training those final 5 weeks. So going back to my spreadsheet, those last 3 weeks, we said 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. And that really helped my recovery, and it really helped my training motivation and my training performance. So we will keep that in place as well. And then lastly, I've kind of already alluded to it, last 5 to 6, maybe even sooner, maybe even the last 8 weeks, just let Jeff take the reins. So that's what worked, and that's what is basically going to stay the same as I get ready for 2025. So, speaking of 2025, what are my plans? I would like to do powerlifting again in 2025. USAPL Masters Cup, I guess it's the Masters World Cup, is in May. And then that would qualify me for Raw Nationals if I was able to get the qualifying total in September of 2025. However, if I don't get the qualifying total, I will probably just do some other meet in roughly September of 2025. Then the California Natural Muscle Mayhem is moving to November 1st of 2025. So I will essentially let Jeff take over the reins immediately after the Raw Nationals or other powerlifting competition. And then, like I did at this year's Muscle Mayhem, if I can qualify for WNBF Worlds, we will do that at the end of November. How am I going to accomplish that? Right now, I'm 168. Probably need to stay about 170 all the way through May of 2025, and then just simply use a water load to make weight at the Masters Cup in May. Then, immediately after the Masters Cup, we'll probably start dieting for Raw Nationals in September, get that body weight down to roughly where I was about 161 pounds. Diet break after Raw Nationals, and then Jeff takes over, dieting hard in October to get ready for California Natural Muscle Mayhem in November. All right, so where am I at now? The screenshot from a video that I took just last week, and my body weight is currently 167 point something pounds. My calories are 2871 on average. That is a surplus that will need to come down once I am very close to that 170-pound mark. And I am squatting again. So my squat top set is roughly 350 pounds. I got 400 at the Masters Cup. That little infraspinatus strain that I've been having linger in my lateral delt, it's still bothering me. So I am only decline benching. I'm not flat benching, but I am doing everything by commands. And I'm currently doing 225 for repetitions. As context, I was able to get 245 pounds at the Masters Cup. That was when I re-injured my shoulder. I'm only doing the RDL, 395 pounds for reps. For context, I got 501 at the Masters Cup pulling sumo style. And it's very low volume training that I'm doing right now, but it's high effort. So while the top sets and the back downs of the main work is submaximal, I'm basically stopping at an RPE of 8. If you've been following along in any of my training updates, you'll know that I'm doing essentially what boils down to one set of everything, sometimes two, to failure, and getting one failure repetition on all those sets. So coming up in August, I'll start doing sumo deadlift as a top set. And then, of course, in September, if my shoulder allows, I'm going to start flat benching again. All right. That's all I've got for you, gang. Thank y'all. Hope you benefited from this.